This is the official hour with RBP, where we talk about raw, unfiltered solutions and tips to all things entrepreneurship. And now, here's your host, Rahul B. Patel.
Hey guys, Rahul B. Patel with the official hour. And today I'm going to be talking about growing micro, but thinking macro. All right, again, growing micro, but thinking macro. This is huge on everyone's minds, right? They want to get better at their craft, but they want to grow their business. They want to grow their own personality. They want to grow in their career. But how do you stay a master of your craft? My good buddy Jake brought this to my attention. And if you see it, a lot of times he's the man behind the lens and all the things you see. And he brought this to my attention to say, how do you keep growing, but keep being great at what you do? So you know what? I got 4 steps to that. And it's going to be really easy. And each of one of you can continue to grow, but keep being the best at your craft. So number 1, be the best at the micro. You got to do it. You got to live it. You got to challenge it. And you have to be the best at it. You got to win at it. So I remember back when I started our firm and I started doing property tax litigation, be the best at it. I knew every angle, knew every county, knew how to work, knew which clients wanted, knew what they wanted, knew about the property types, and got to be the best at it. People started coming to me as a referral source. People started looking at our cases and say, how do these guys do this? So you got to be the best at it, right? But then you want to grow. You want to add another county or a property type or do whatever it is you want to grow at. So you got to start to add people. You got to start to add a team member, a colleague, a software, a platform, whatever it is you do, you got to add something to your trade to grow. So how do you continue to grow, but be the best at it? So one thing that people often do in step number 2 is they add people, but they forget to transfer that information. They assign it, but they fail to transfer it. And what does that mean? A lot of times they get something and they give it to somebody and say, hey, I need you to handle this. So they start moving on to other things. But they don't transfer the knowledge, the skill set, the background, all of the little minutia that got into making you the best. You've got to really spend some time and transfer that. Sometimes it gets real deep and frustrating. I can tell you one of my partners now, I remember one time she just said, I'm out, I'll give up. And I said, what are you giving up for? Because it got challenging. And she is one of the best at that craft now. But you know what? It took a lot of time to truly transfer those skill sets. And then from there, that's when you can level up. Then you can take that next step to think bigger, add a picture, add something to your craft. But until you get the best at it, you get some way to transfer that to someone else on your team or some process, you can't get a one level up. But one thing is you go level up, you got to keep your finger on the micro. And what that means is, it doesn't mean you control every phase of it, but whoever or whatever is handling that micro task of yourselves, you've got to understand the process behind it and why they're doing it, because things will change, evolve over time. And if you just assume it to be the best, you can't get better at it. You can't understand the why. So you've got to ask those questions. Well, hold on, why did you do this? We were always doing this. Why did we move it to this? Why can't we do it that way? You're learning. You're not challenging. You're not saying not to, but you're learning how to get and stay the best at the micro by continuing to grow macro. And step number 4, rinse and repeat. Keep doing that. At each level that you got up to, you got better at, don't forget that and just begin to assign that. You got to transfer that. Be the best at the micro, assign that and grow by transferring that knowledge, get a level up, and then you rinse and repeat. You keep going. And remember, along that journey, in order to continue to grow in the micro, but think macro, you can't stop learning. You can't stop seeing the changes. You've got to be able to go and move and change with the times. And as each person handles that micro, remember, you've got to continue to seek the process and rationale behind it. And so, I'm going to break down some examples from what Jake was asking me. He's like, hey, I got really good behind the camera, but I want to get good at behind the video. I want to get good behind something else. And the easy inclination for a lot of people trying to grow is assign something or bring somebody else on that can do it and just tell them, hey, I need you to handle this. But they never taught them why they saw it, how they saw it, why they looked into the camera and saw something that someone else doesn't see. You've got to explain that. You can't be afraid to transfer that knowledge and information. You've got to do that in order to actually grow and be better at the next level, because what made you so great at something is what you want somebody else to be great at, so you can be great at the layer around that and the layer around that. And they can help you grow because they're going to continue to see the micro and help you grow in the macro. So remember, this is Rahul B. Patel with the official hour. And remember, growing micro but thinking macro is possible.